Alright, so I made it down to my buddy's camp, and he's rigging up to send this bait out on the drone, and it's the Gannet drone. He had just gotten them, and he's fishing along with another gentleman. And one thing I noticed is the shells started to come up, and look how quickly they sprout. Why do they do that? I don't know why they do that, but I'll tell you what, every time I've seen this, I've seen where pompano get caught out there in that area. So
y'all ain't pompano fishing?
maybe they can tell that they're coming up at a certain time or whatever, but I mean, I see it, all times of the day, morning, noon, and night, and stuff like that. But when I see a whole bunch of them, and you can tell how quickly they came up. But now, back to the drone action.
Gotta bite. I got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go. Yeah, I gotta line. I'ma call up the whole team.
Alright, so they've got the Gannet drone, and what they're doing is they're rigging it up to be able to drop baits. Now, one of the things that they prefer to do is to have it calibrated every time they send it out. And the reason for that is because he said that he's gone through multiple drones before, him and his partner right here. And, with the amount of drones he's gone through, he's learned that it works best if you calibrate them, obviously. If you move more than a certain distance, you calibrate them. But he actually calibrates it every time he turns it off and turns it on. Now, one of the main things about the calibration that you got to understand, that it's pretty much like the compass. If you're in a area where there's a lot of metal, it can throw off the degree of your compass trying to point north. So this is something that you got to really take in consideration and really understand, that if you're going to be calibrating your drone, that you try to get away from it as much electronics as you can, and or vehicles at the same time, because that can really throw off a few degrees or even greater, just depending on what's out there and what's putting off some kind of magnetic pulse or anything like that. Vehicles, metal, and all of that stuff will do a little bit, and it just may take that little bit to keep your drone from coming back home when you are going to set it out. And this is talking from the guys that actually do the drones all the time and are looking into improving them and stuff like that. So this is knowledge coming from them. These guys know what they're doing. They know how to get these baits out and how to treat them, prevent them from getting wear and tear in the wrong spots and so forth. So one of the other things that was brought to my attention was how the baits are dropped. And with these Gannet drones, they have a weight system, or it's basically, it's a system that is set up to where, depending on the size of bait, will give you the amount of drag you need to allow it to drop. Now, if it's too light, when you go to lift up the bait, it'll pop right out. If it's too heavy, when it gets out there, it won't come off the rod. So talking with them, they were saying that what they can do sometimes, if it's over calibrated like that, what they do is they pop the rod real quick and pull it out, or give it that extra pull that it needs to release and to get your bait to fall in place. So right here, what he's doing is he's planning to dump it out about 200 yards, which is right before the third bar. And this is a small casting bait is what he calls it. So like I said, this is something that is testing your knowledge on the size of bait you're using, the weight you're using, the float, and everything. And right here, this was just a cast out, but check out the way they rig up with a float for a bigger size leader and bait.